So here I am, walking along some rail line somewhere in Pennsylvania, and I'm looking for an old Elko. Allegedly, up in these trees, there's an old Elko. I see tanker cars, I see well-maintained siding, I think I see some work equipment down there. If it's back there, it's in the trees. A lot of switches. A lot of space to store these tankers. It's only two here, which, it's like, are there only two here because there's only two here, or is it because they're gonna come with more soon? Never really know. So yeah, I'll spare you the whole walkthrough of the whole yard. I found a gondola, I found a few flat cars, maybe for moving rails or cross ties, or a whole lot of Philadelphia area monikers, so they're probably used very locally. And then, when I started getting towards the end, what happened? Obviously, no locomotive yet, but I think it's back here. And I'm gonna presume that all that honking is gonna be a train going down the main line, which is back here. Not really worried about them creeping into this industrial spur. Unless, again, it's a local. I think, I'm gonna look this way. Look, someone dug out this. This track is currently used. Let me look around. Let me try to find this thing. Okay, I just came up this hill. Is that it? Holy shit. Wow. That's really overgrown. I don't know why I didn't think it would be. Holy cow. Ooh, it's back there though. Which is crazy because it's up an incline. I think going back this way, the tracks came in. There were more tracks here. You can see some metal debris here. And no one's used this road in a while. No one's been back here in a while. I can wiggle my way in there. I feel like I took the scenic route. Wow, okay. Jeebus. Whoa. 8479. I see a clearing on the other side. Maybe I can go around that way. Maybe figure this out. Okay, pop through the trees. Yeah, definitely have to do an exam for ticks. Holy shit. There's not much left of this guy. Wow. Hood door's gone. A lot of motor parts gone. Cab looks foobar. Alright. I'm gonna go over here in the sun. Look for bugs. So yeah, there you have it. The good thing is, we have the road number, 8479. So we know immediately that this was what this was. That's an easy reference to look up. Yeah, so my suggestion is, if you come back here, bring your flux capacitor. If you come back here, come during the afternoon because, like, it's late August and it's around 11 and the sun is still over here. So you would want the sun on this side, probably like 11 to 4 in the winter, maybe 1 o'clock during the summer. I'm not gonna wait here 2 hours to get a shot of this. I was here mostly to do the video. I knew it was under all these trees. I also took some infrared photos. We'll see if they come out on film, 35 millimeter. It would look great with all these plants. Hopefully it all works out. I never trust it because you never fully know what you get back from your negatives until you get them developed. All right, so let's get on this abused locomotive and let's take a much closer look and let's see what is left on it, because it's not looking too good. That could come off nice and easy. Probably wasp nests in there. I'm just gonna take it nice and slow and easy. There's plants growing in it. Probably some mugwort. Cooling fan's still there. I mean, you could, if you were desperate and you needed something like this, clean the heck out of it and slap it into your locomotive. Slap it into your own old Alco, because, you know, everyone has those in their backyards, right? Someone made nests, I think. I have to be very careful where I stick my face. Yeah, I mean, the block is still here, but nothing else. You can see right in the gap from here. Yeah, look, someone cut this off. And I see little holes for a hand railing, but they're not here. Yeah, you can look right in there. All the electrical cabinet stuff is gone, gone, gone. And our generator here has seen some much, much, much better days. And I'm sure the cab is not worth climbing into. Really full bar in there too. There's the operator control stand right there. This would have been engineer side. Cool. I don't even know what kind of bugs are lurking in there. Alright, I'm going to take a few little photos and then I'm going to figure out how to get out of here, because this is really cool. This is really interesting to see. But wow, there's really not much left to it. Clearly people knew about this. A guy was telling me about this place 20 years ago, and I didn't get to sync up with him and get the tour. And now here we are 20 years later. I think he showed me a photo where it actually had the hood doors, and now those are gone. So yeah, this is cray. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, so well looted. Probably rail fans or others who knew what to take. Really nothing of value left on this guy. Unless there's like specific body parts like radiators or doors, the front door. I don't know what anyone else could possibly take from here to restore. I'm so glad I saw it, because this property here, I mean, this one over here is abandoned, but this one is just, if someone wanted to build like an Amazon shipping facility or something, this might be a good location for that sort of crap. So yeah, I don't know how long this guy will last. It's been here for at least 20 years, so there's that. It might be here another 20, another 40. It might be here till the end of time, till we all die. Who the heck knows? Okay, I definitely did the Marty method. I walked 5 minutes over here, and the road is up there, and there's a whole easy path right here. I saw 4 or 5 fence holes along there, ATV-sized fence holes. The Marty method is when you find the hardest way to get into a place, instead of just, I don't know, using the huge hole in the fence and walking a couple of feet. The hell, dude? This is a former Pennsylvania Railroad RS3 locomotive. It was built in June of 1952, and it was later owned by Penn Central, and then it was later owned by Amtrak. And here's a good timeline of the locomotive. Here in 1964, you can see it doing some switching on Pennsylvania Railroad, somewhere in Pennsylvania. Up here on the upper right, we've got it in Amtrak paint, which is former Penn Central paint. And it is in Reading, Pennsylvania. And this is, I'm going to assume, after it was sold to the Historic Society in 1985. Down here on the lower left, we've got 1990. It's been painted, Pennsylvania Railroad. It looks like it's being preserved here. And then there was a change of plans. I'm not sure why there was a change of plans, but they started parting it out. And then by 2008, you could see it here looking in its final resting place, looking a little bit shabby. All the windows have been broken, but it's still got handrail and some other parts on it. So, I'm not sure why they decided to part it out, but some of those parts went to good places. Today, there's really not much left here. The radiator's gone, the control stand has been stripped out of parts and gauges, windows are blown out, there's no glass at all, handrail's gone, cab floor's gone, traction motor's gone, hood doors, headlights, pretty much you name it, it has been removed from this locomotive. And what remains are a few rusty parts inside, but they've been really exposed to the elements for 3 decades now. So how viable it would be to use anything at all from the interior of this locomotive is highly questionable. So where did the parts go? The trucks and traction motors went under one of the former Long Island Railroad FA units that is slowly being restored. And then we've got some other parts that went to a CNJ RS3, number 1554, which is located up in Scranton, preserved, and so far as I know, in running condition, which is awesome. So this all brings us to a question. There's not much left. Should it be saved? A couple of videos ago, I put out this video about a mysterious flanger located behind an artist studio. Should that have been saved? So when I was thinking about that, I put together this scale of hell no, or, this thing is incredibly rare, it should absolutely be saved. And yeah, where do you think this goes on the scale? Should it be saved, or is it meh? My opinion is 0. This thing should absolutely not be saved. There's nothing left here. It would cost tens of thousands of dollars to put this thing back together. 3 different preservation organizations and museums were offered the remains of this locomotive, and they all refused. Because the amount of work and the amount of money, like literally fabricating parts to just even put together a cosmetic shell, wow, that's just a ton of cash and it's just never going to happen. And we've seen this before with another former Amtrak RS3. This one was former New York Central 8254. This was in the Albany collection. It also sat there for, out in the open, exposed for around 2 decades or more. And as you can see, this one was falling apart. This one was scrapped in 2022. There are currently at least 50, maybe even as many as 60 RS3 locomotives in the United States that are preserved or running on tourist lines. So this locomotive isn't very unique, and it is in such a hideous shape that saving it would take a huge amount of money, a huge amount of resources, and it's just not worth the effort compared to saving something like the flanger that would be like significantly more unique, like a rare one-of-a-kind thing or like a three-of-a-kind thing. That's the sort of thing that we should be focusing on saving, not yet another RS3, especially when it's a money pit and you'd literally have to fabricate parts to put this thing back together. So that's where I stand on this. If you feel differently, the comment section is open below. And whoa, this book didn't just disappear off the shelf. It's in my hand. This is Abandoned Trains Volume 1. Abandoned Trains Volume 2 is coming soon. Is hardcover, soft cover. This is my book. My name is Joe, and this is my book. Buy my book. It's got loads and loads and loads of cool abandoned trains in it. And Volume 2 will have a bunch more. So if you really love this sort of stuff, you can have it in written format too. Otherwise, I'm Joe, and you want to subscribe here, and I'll catch you next time. Get out of here. Go, go, go.